Today we're going to be checking out this laptop that's here for liquid damage. So right away we can see some pretty serious liquid damage right here on the heatsink and on the SSD. Most likely this customer's data is going to be gone unless they're really lucky. So with this liquid damage having fallen on here, there's a chance that the voltage became unstable and maybe overvolted the RAM. If that's the case, this board won't be worth fixing. The screw doesn't want to come out. It's really seized on there. You can prep this for ultrasonic cleaning. These resistors also look pretty bad. This end cap is gone on this capacitor. I'm going to go ahead and use some special cleaning liquid here to get rid of the bulk of that corrosion. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the ultrasonic cleaner for about maybe 20 minutes. I ended up throwing the SSD in there. So now we're just going to rinse this stuff off. We use tap water. A lot of people might be surprised by that, but really the water isn't the issue. It's the minerals in tap water that can cause issues, but this is only the first step. This is only a quick rinse, and after this we're going to rinse with alcohol. We're going to blow all the water off the board. The reason we blow it off before rinsing with alcohol is because that way the tap water doesn't contaminate the alcohol here. And finally, this alcohol rinse is going to displace the tap water, and it's also going to take off any minerals that the tap water may have left. So you really want this to be as residue free as possible so that when there's power applied, there's no issues. We're going to blow it off again. Alright, so this is what everything looks like after the ultrasonic cleaning. Definitely looking a lot better, but there will be some components that need to be replaced. Before the board cools down, I'm going to go ahead and start messing with these capacitors. Since in this case I can't find the schematic for this, we're just going to use the multimeter. So the connection is really finicky. We'll try and maybe guess at it later or see if I can get a better reading later. So I'm going to go ahead and source the capacitors, replace all of them. I'm going to go ahead and tin those pads again. This isn't quite the right size capacitor, but it'll do. Okay, now the pads are making contact on both sides. So let's move on to the next capacitor. Okay, so I went ahead and replaced all the missing capacitors. I don't have the right package types. These are 0201s, but it should work fine. So looking at this one right away, it looks like it's open, the top here, giving me a reading, but it's not good. So that one's open as well. Find replacements for that. So we're gonna have to find them on a junk board. Okay, so I found a couple of these resistors. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these. So as you can see, the package size here is a little bit too big. Let me just confirm that this pad connects here, and if it does, we'll just go ahead and put it like this. So it looks like it just connects to that capacitor. This one just connects to this capacitor right next to it, so we'll solder a bridge between them so it works. There we go, all the components are replaced. I normally like to do things a little bit cleaner than this, like find the right size capacitors and all that kind of stuff, but very time consuming. Don't have to see if this thing's even going to work, so we don't really want to pour a bunch of time into this, making it look perfect. Ready to perform the first test. Let me just get my bench together here, and we'll see if this was a waste of time or if it's actually going to go somewhere. USB-C stuff is really temperamental, and unfortunately still don't have any activity on USB-C. What's interesting is that it is actually getting to 20 volts, but it's not doing anything after that. So let me see if there's anything on the board. So I'm doing some probing around the board in general and around the USB-C control chips and stuff like that, and I'm not finding anything obvious. There's no shorts. At this point, we're pretty much starting to think about whether or not it's worth continuing, and I'm thinking it's probably not. Especially with no schematic, it can be really difficult to figure this kind of stuff out. Considering that the data on this thing is gone because of the condition of the SSD, I think it's just not worth investing any more time. Unfortunately, the board itself is not available either. I think in this case, we're just going to decide to call it quits here. So during the reassembly process, I got a little bit curious as to what might happen if I try powering this through the battery. And it's still 0, but I'm curious what happens if I inject voltage into the battery connector. Mostly I'm just going to see if there's any kind of current draw. Yeah, everything's completely dead. So no more wasting time on this. It's just not worth it. Today this laptop definitely defeated us. What we did today was just placing the damaged components and stuff like that. There's heavy liquid damage right here. You can see all along the hinge. Some of that may have gone into the screen, and definitely a lot of that got into the keyboard. You can feel how sticky it is. So considering these factors, we're just not going to waste any more actual diagnostic time on this laptop. So it's quits, no fix.